Hey Bibbs, welcome back to Chronic Kitchen. Today we're making my favorite pasta, carbonara. It's basically bacon and eggs. It's like a breakfast pasta. It's got wheat in it, and you can start or end your day with something absolutely wonderful. And I will show you how to make it. Let's go. Step one of our carbonara is to get a nice pot of water to a nice rolling boil. That's step one. We've got some spaghetti, traditional to the carbonara pasta. You want to take a look on the back. You want to make sure it's bronze die cut. That's going to hold the sauce really, really well. But most importantly, you want to see dried low and slow. These really cheap pasta brands, they force the drying of the pasta, which causes a really difficult gluten reaction. It's very hard to digest. It's more calories and it's more painful on the way out. So get something that's low and slow. You could also tell that these take a little bit longer to cook. This says 9 to 11 minutes. Other spaghetti say 7 to 9 minutes. So we want this to be nice and al dente. So we're only gonna do it for about 7-8 minutes because it's gonna cook a little more in our skillet. So go ahead and get this bad boy in here. We want a nice, generous amount of salt because you know we are salty bitches here at Chronic Kitchen.
Salt, baby!
Please don't break your fucking spaghetti before you put it in the water. I know I can't see you doing it, but I could feel it in my soul. Very nice extra virgin olive oil. Just like Zeus liked it. Get it in there. Grab your thongs.
Dong, 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 dong.
And just get this in here. And you could say, Alexa, set a timer for 7 minutes. Fuck you, Jeff Bezos. We've cut up our bacon. The recipe says 4 slices. That's a great amount of bacon. But if you've seen the size of Evan and I, you know that we're gonna need a little bit more.
We're thick!
So we got some thick cut bacon in our cold pan. You want the bacon in the pan before you start it. Same deal when you're making them by the whole strips. If you're gonna add cold bacon to a hot pan, you're gonna get really squiggly, scrunchy bacon. Ruined it. You want the bacon to heat up with the pan. And all these pieces are gonna come apart here. Let's not worry about it. But what we're gonna do is cook these really nice and golden, make sure all the fat gets rendered, and then we're gonna just scoop out the bacon pieces, but we're gonna leave the bacon fat in here because that's going to be the base of our carbonara. Bacon smells so good all the time. I'm so hard.
Why are you always having sex with the bacon?
Make sure when you're straining your pasta, you save a half a cup of your pasta water. It's nice and starchy. We love it. We'll be right back. All right, our bacon is nice and crispy. Our fat has been rendered. We want to leave the grease in here. We're going to remove this bacon. You can do it on a paper towel. You can do it however you want. However grandma did it, you should do it. I'm not here to be your grandma. I'm here to be your ancillary grandma.
You look like a grandma.
I mean, my whole shtick is very grandma-ish, so I'm not going to deny it.
You also smell like Ben Gay.
And Werther's Originals. Let's not forget the caramels. But what of the caramels? So we put about 7 pieces of bacon in here, so you can see this is a nice amount of grease. You also have to understand that you're going to use that as the base of your sauce, quote unquote. So don't remove the fat. If you don't want it, pick a different recipe. We got a lot of them. So right in here, while the skillet is still hot, we want to do 4 teaspoons of garlic minced. Woo! Attack! Like the 4th of July. Don't want this to burn. Just shut the heat off now. We want this nice and brown and caramelized. Beautiful. In a separate bowl here, we're gonna go in with our eggs. I really hate what fucking Monsanto has done to all of our fucking crops and eggs. Their shells are fucking weaker. We've got our grated Parmesan and our eggs. We got this, keep an eye on how nice and golden brown. We don't want to burn it. We have the heat off. Give this a nice little whisk. Do it right over your skillet in case some of the cheese comes out. You're fucking ready to go. Now what we're gonna do, it's almost like a Parmesan custard. That's what it should look like. Nothing crazy. Now we're going right in here with our pasta. Should be off the heat for a while now. Whoop. Nice al dente pasta. What you want now is the heat to be off, and you want to try to coat everything in the garlic and the bacon grease. You want this to come back to life a little bit from the heat, from the bacon grease, from the garlic, all in service, because when we put this Parmesan and egg mixture in here, if you put it while it's on the heat or everything is still too hot, you're going to scramble the eggs, and then you're thinking, you know, more of an Asian-y thing that we're doing. And you can kind of tell it should have like a nice greasy shine to it. Well mixed, you want to get all this garlic from the sides here. That is our delicious flavor. We want all of it. We are going to go in. Oh, yes. See how thick and beautiful that is. See how it's not, the eggs are not scrambling. They're staying nice and wet here. But there is a little bit of heat, so we'll cook a little bit so you don't have to worry about your salamander poisoning. And we're gonna also crack a nice fresh egg yolk on top. And you wanna do that while the pasta, oh, these noises. So we have our half a cup of starchy water. Let's put about half of it in there and let's see how we feel. That's the noise we want. What is that, the sound of love? That's what they say?
Only you actually say that.
No, that's, it's still pretty thick. Great flavor. Get a little more starch water in there. Yes, that is how Daddy likes it. Wet and reckless. Go right back in with our bacon. A little tax here.
Bacon tax.
Crunchy, crispy, flavorful. If bacon and eggs were pasta, it would be this. Look at that. That is what you want across the bottom of the pan. Get that bacon nice and mixed in. Now we're gonna get this on the plate. Salt and pepper now. You can salt and pepper later. And do a little fresh salt here. Nice. We would do a little bit of salt, but I don't think we're gonna need too much. Beautiful. Give it one little mix here. We're ready to get this on a plate and throw an egg yolk on top. Have a nice, slutty, runny, yolky carbonara. All right, so we are almost done here. We got a nice plated. I know you're thinking, where's the weed? We cut up some of our beautiful weed butter and we've nestled it in so the hot pasta will melt it. I put about 40 milligrams in mine. I put 20 milligrams in Evan's because he's got to operate light machinery. If you want to use guanciale, you want to use pancetta, you can. I use bacon. I love guanciale. It's heavily seasoned with a lot of rosemary. I wanted to keep this flavor very kind of egg, Parmesan, bacon. Now we want to add a fresh egg yolk while the pasta is still warm. My favorite way, there are two ways to do it. I'll show you maybe the easier way is to just kind of use the cracked shell to get the whites out. You can save these and whip them into a nice meringue if you'd like. The price of eggs today, you might as well. But you want to get as much as this membrane out. It can be a little bit of an arduous task. And then what you can do is you get it into the smaller portion and then you kind of just really nice. And that's going to crack over the pasta, be really, really delicious. Or give you a little bit more control is to just create a little sieve with your fingers. It's all about touch here. I've done this a lot of times before, but look, a third of the time I have complete control over it and it's still nice and whole. Unlike Evan's, which, you know, he'll have to deal with. Give it a little poke, give it a little mix. Enough yolking around. We are ready to fucking eat. A little bit of fresh Parmigiana. We've already put the right amount of salt and pepper in there. You might need to add a little bit more upon taste, but don't forget, Evan and I are seasoned professionals. That's why they call us the Spice Boys.
Spice up your life, baby. Chubby Spice is here.
Which spice am I? I mean, if you ask any woman, they would say Scary Spice.
You know, I think that one's already taken.
Yeah, but ooh, look how fucking decadent this
Look
is.
at this. Oh my God.
No weed butter in the middle.
Fucking egg. Oh, that's right. I see it in there. Oh, let me just.
Got some fresh ricotta on the bottom. We made that from scratch.
Ooh, then that saltiness coming in from the bacon. Ooh, the flavor. Rich is the word here.
This is a voluminous amount of richness.
Voluminous.
Oh, that cheese on the bottom. Oh, pecorino. This bronze cut pasta is really holding this.
Oh yeah, the bronze cut stuff is best.
Oh,
I hear it's better for your organs or something.
take 2 minutes off the al dente cook time on the package because
The pasta is nice. This is, you would almost think it would be a little overdone, but you really handle it perfectly. Still got a little bite to it.
get that yolk around there. Wow, the weed adds.
Did you make a yolking joke already?
I did.
I missed it.
Yeah. It was quite excellent. I'm gonna eat this whole plate.
I'm out of here. How much did you dose these?
You got 20.
20? What does that mean? I never know what it means.
I would say that
We're gonna go take a nap preemptively.
if you're not buying edibles from someone that's making them at home and you want to get them from a dispensary where they just inject them with garbage and dip them in sugar and you don't even metabolize it correctly, the most you can buy per dose is 10 milligrams, which is quite Mickey Mouse. Oh my God.
Wow.
That weed, it adds like an earth level to this.
It's almost like an herbal flavor.
Yeah, if there was any like parsley or rosemary, I think it'd be too much, but because there is none, I think it's... So I'm eating the equivalent of like 4, I guess is the best way, 4 dispensary gummies, and you're eating the equivalent of 2.
Hey.
So most of the people I'm making stuff for are really old and sick. That can go both ways. Some people have a really light tolerance, some people have a really heavy tolerance. You also might be one of those people that says, oh, I need to eat 600 milligrams, and then all it does is make me sleepy. That's because 25% of the population, their liver cannot metabolize THC. You might be one of those unlucky 25% that just cannot get high. Your liver doesn't know what to do with it, just dumps it out, and you're just basically spending money on expensive urine.
My favorite kind of urine.
You might be overly sensitive to weed. If you have a natural form of anxiety, you should not be eating weed. Weed, smoking it, eating it, it's a hyper-focused drug plant. I don't really even like calling it a drug, but there are some people, they'll say to me, every time I smoke weed, I get paranoid or I get anxious. And there's always that one pothead. It's like, oh, you're not smoking the right kind of weed. You need a different kind of strain because they think everybody's got to do what they do. If you're predisposed to have anxiety or paranoia or something like that, odds are, if you're in the middle of an anxiety attack, weed is only going to make things worse. If you're like me, who has a gastrointestinal issue, autoimmune issue, if you have cancer, MS, any of these things, a lot of the times the anxiety is being caused by either the level of pain or the level of stress that you're in. It's a secondary reaction, and now you're getting anxious for no reason. Smoking weed in that case is beautiful because it's going to lower your pain, lower your stress, and lower your cortisol level. So it's not exactly the THC that's taking away your anxiety. That's a big myth. There are people like me that are highly anxious because I'm always in pain. My stomach always hurts. When I smoke weed, I feel so much better. But I've been doing this for 7 years now. I could really confidently say that if your anxiety is caused from pain or a diagnosis, as long as your liver can process it and you're not overly sensitive to it, it's going to help those symptoms feel a lot more manageable. Yes, you should see a doctor, take your medication, take care of your overall health. This is absolutely delicious. I mean, we've eaten this entire plate.
Get off the set!
Follow the recipe below, hit the link, hit subscribe. I'll give you more useful information and more delicious recipes. Cherry Spice out.
Cherry Spice out!